This bounce play off of the VWAP is exactly why it's my favorite trading setup, and you should learn it yourself so you can capitalize on the clean trending moves like we had today and really all month long. We've had one small red day came yesterday, so we recovered that today. But the setups have been super clean. Today specifically, I want to go over some lessons. Let's first just go over today's trade, right? We have some options at the open to be trading. There was a first break of opening range, so if anyone's unfamiliar with my strategy, it's all available on ASFX TV. You can just click the link down below and get full access to all of this, as well as all the live streams where we take these trades together every morning. But you'll see this first break of opening range here is a nice sign that sellers are in, but it's really not a move that runs very far many of the time, so I want to let that go. But read it as sellers in control. Okay, great. So now I'm waiting for a pullback to this blue New York VWAP. You get a small one. I know there were some shorts on the table in here on stream. People caught that next leg out. Like that. That's a good trade. It's a nice leg extension of the trend, but we miss it. Makes a new low, pulls back. Now, in that VWAP strategy that you'll see on ASFX TV, there's a bounce play. There's no bounce here off of this blue New York VWAP, right? It doesn't bounce down. It just slices right through it. Buyers are steamrolling through it. So we don't just sell it right when it gets to that line and hope it bounces, right? You want to see it defend it like you do back here, or maybe that one small wick. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting in short and buyers just steamroll us for a new high a day, right? So you want to see it slow. Now, if you're watching on the regular trading hours, which we can go over here and watch it, on the regular trading hours, you're not going to see that overnight VWAP. You're just going to see the black New York. So that's why I like to use both of them, because now you're just reading it as, oh, buyers are in control. We're above New York. Let me go for longs. That is definitely not the case. Trend is still down. We're underneath this overnight VWAP, as you can see here. So let's see if sellers defend this. If sellers don't defend this level, then yes, we broke above New York and the overnight. We might be heading higher, but it's too soon to say. So stay patient, see if we could defend this level, and then sellers take back to New York. The same level you wanted to potentially trade the bounce here, that wasn't really a bounce, it didn't bounce, but it's the same level. But now you avoid the heartache of maybe sitting through this drawdown and questioning, why did I get short? This thing didn't slow down. Where's my stop loss, right? Just patience. It's the price that pays. We do want to be short around this VWAP, but we could probably time it a little bit better with some patience. So once sellers take it back, I'm saying, okay, yeah, we defended the black line and our blue. Sellers are clearly in. I mean, the trend is nothing but sellers today. Let's go trade back down to structure, right? My pullback strategy, the bigger the pullback, the better, because I like to trade back down to previous structure. We've already been down here. I just want to go back there. I'm not expecting a breakout or needing a breakout, right? It's nice when it does break out like this, but I don't need it to, because you run into those days where it doesn't have a lower low in it. It builds a higher low and comes back higher. I still want to be able to make money in that move, whether it's a strong trend or a weak trend, right? Because price is what pays. I want to be close to this VWAP bounce. Now, these are the notes on it, pretty much what I just explained. This is like what I would put in Futures 2.0. You'll see plenty of markups in there. Everything I just said is on these notes pretty much of no bounce play yet. It defends the VWAP. Now we're short, right? So screenshot that, read it yourself if you want, and definitely study it. Now, after that trade, it makes a new leg lower. Could you sell it here on this small pullback and try to time that? Sure. I mean, it's clearly sellers in control, but it's just not repeatable as trading it off of the VWAP. So I let that go. It then pulls back to the very same VWAP you made money off of earlier. You let it pull back, not getting induced into the 2 minutes above New York VWAP because buyers aren't in control. And then it gets back below. Okay, here's our probably lower high. From back here, the lower high, and the open lower high. Trend is very much bearish. If this makes the next lower low from here, I would love to be short at this New York VWAP because it's the price that pays consistently. I mean, you'll see all the markups when you join into stream. So you scalp it on back down and look at all the move you can have trading back down to where we've already been, right? Previous structure. So this doesn't really break out much further than this low here. That's fine. Since you're not jumping in mid-trade, right? You're not shorting it on its way down. You don't need a big pop since you got it at a great price before the trade really loaded up and sprung from this VWAP. So that's why I like this price. Super clean today. Now, if we go to my report card here, there's a small note in there on my trade yesterday. I'm not going to read the report card, but the trade yesterday, the long I took was clean. It was off of VWAP. It just didn't continue higher, right? I'm playing the bounce off of this black overnight and the break of the blue. We pretty much did the same thing today, right? I was right today because trend continued bearish. If this had continued bullish yesterday and I was right, I would have made money, as silly as that sounds, right? So it's like the trend continuing is really out of my hands. I don't know. But as long as I play the same price levels and the same consistent setups, then when trend does continue, I'll make money like today. Played the same idea yesterday, trend just didn't continue. So I was wrong, right? I didn't sell it or buy it at a bad price. I'm doing the consistent prices, consistent levels, the things I can control. And then on the days trend continues, I make money. When it doesn't, I'll probably lose. But I think I could win more times than not, right? But when you're just jumping in all over the place, right? Like today, you could have sold it here for whatever reason. And then a stop loss there. It's like you weren't wrong on trend going lower. You just did it at a terrible time at a terrible place. That's what I don't want my trades to be like. I want it to be because I was wrong. I thought we were going lower. I'm wrong. Buyers are stepping in. Let me now pivot to the longs, right? So when you can get price close to this VWAP, if I sell it here and then we soon break for a new high a day, I was wrong. Damn, I thought we were going to go lower because of these VWAPs being respected. But now that I'm wrong, I could pivot to the new information and hopefully take clean longs with the new information of saying, well, now let's go continue this trend. Now, there was a setup later on in the day, and like I said, all of this is in Futures 2.0. We live stream here every morning. You can see my short from today working out there. There's our long here, but we know that one ends up losing. But it's all right. We took a payout yesterday morning, so we'll take the loss any day of the week. There's the long there. I'm not going to go into the preview, but you can see it's off that tiny little VWAP. Just trade and trend, my friends. But look at this setup. This is later on in the afternoon. What VWAP does it bounce off of? Same one in this video, the one that we're focused on every day. I have plenty of videos on this channel about this is the price that pays. I want to get pullbacks to this New York VWAP, right? So if you sold it on that break, it pays. It pays. It pays there. Then it really just stalls. But anyways, comes back to New York. Why doesn't this pay? Well, first of all, it's not going to pay 100% of the time. Now, it's not the end-all, be-all, but it is a great structural trade, right? If this were to move lower, this is definitely the level that's been respected. So you can't hate the short in that regard. I just think it's interesting that this presents at 302, right? If you did take this specific candle. But if you look at Edgeful, you'll see that the odds of us making a new low of day or a new high of day, right, depending on the structure, the chances of a new low of day in the last hour of the session is 15% of the time. Only 20 times out of the last 126 days have we made a new low when it was a bearish day, right? So it's not like it can't happen. It happened 20 times. But it probably doesn't want to make another leg lower in the last hour. So it's almost just like, yeah, that's a great setup if it presented at like 11 o'clock. But being that the time of day is 3 o'clock, I don't know if there's enough gas to go continue this trend for another new low, right? Because someone probably sold it and confused on what the hell. I thought that was a great short. Look at all the shorts earlier. It's a great structural short. It's off the right VWAP. You did a good job in that regard. Maybe just not the time to try to be playing that unless you have a lot more room down to that low, right? That you could try to just like scalp a small move and you still don't need it to make a new low a day to make money, right? That would make a little bit more sense. I just thought that was interesting because like you can't hate the short structurally, but the odds were stacked against you that, yeah, 84% of the time this thing is not going to make a new low and you need it to go lower here. That doesn't look too good, right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys make money with us on stream every morning. And if you don't, you pivot and you make the money back in a different trade, right? But definitely go study this. I did an update to it at the beginning of December. All the trades I'm taking now are with Top 1 Futures. So if you need an account with them as well, the link's down below. That's 40% off right now. Code Evan's always going to run the best deal. So depending on when you're watching this, go grab yourself some accounts. But great lessons, great trading still so far this year. We had one small red day yesterday because we recovered some of it on a different account. So that account was still more red, but bounced back today. So just keep on trucking along one day at a time. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions about the VWAP, drop them down below. Tune into stream and ask some questions. But other than that, I'll see you on stream tomorrow morning.